So what we're going to do with this lesson is exactly what we just practiced reviewing, and then with one extra step. So it's what we just practiced, but then plus one extra step. We're going to add and subtract the radicals together. Radical simply means a square root or a cube root. It's just one of those. So when you are adding and subtracting, just like when you add and subtract things with variables in it, like x's, they need to be like terms. So the part that's underneath the root or the radical has to be the same, okay? Has to be the same number. Do you see how these are not the same number? We're going to simplify them first, exactly like we just did when we were doing the review game, okay? So for 24, draw two little houses. Now we're doing a square root, so you need to look at these squares. 24 is a pretty small number, so I hope we don't need the calculator. If we do, I can pull it up. But you need a number off that list that goes into 24. So 4 times 6. Beautiful. Plus, now we're going to do the same thing for 54. You need a number from that list that goes into 54. 9 times 6. Now here's where I was saying write with a pencil, not a pen, because I'm going to try and save you some writing. Instead of having to write the whole thing all over again, let's just erase square root of 4 and do that. What is your square root of 4? 2. So erase that and just change it to a 2. Again, what my goal is there is I'm trying to save you from having to write the whole thing all over again. Does that make sense? Or you could write the whole thing all over again if you want to. All right, and then we're going to erase square root of 9. What is your square root of 9? 3. Now do you see how they are the same? Now, what would you get if you added 2x plus 3x? What would that equal? 5x. So apply the same principle here. If you do 2 square root of 6 plus 3 square root of 6, you would get 5 square root of 6 as your final answer. So you reduce them, then you can add them together. That's it. And we're just going to practice a bunch of them. Now I have like a bunch of examples here. We may not need to do all of them, just enough so that you understand what's going on. Look at the first one. Do you see how they're the same? Some of them I have already set up for you. Do you see how they're the same? Yeah. You don't need to do any simplification. Just subtract them together. 3 minus 4 be negative 1 square root of 6. Do you technically need the 1? No, you could just write negative square root of 6, but I just stuck the 1 in there because it's true. All right. Do you see how these are the same? Yeah. Yes. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1 square root of 7. It's like doing negative 3x plus 4x. You would get 1x. It's just instead of an x, it's a square root of 7. Do you see how these are not the same? Yeah. Okay. 3 is not a big enough number to split. You can't draw 2 houses for 3. It's too little. Following me there? Which is actually good news because you don't have to do anything with that one. Just recopy it down. Negative 2 square root of 3. Hey, Miss Cole, it looks like you just rewrote it. Sure did. Now this one, you're going to have plus 3. And then this 27, we're going to split. So draw 2 little houses. 9. Good. Before I could even ask, 9 times 3. Is everyone good on that? 9 times 3 is 27. 9's on the list. So if you want to erase, you don't have to write the whole thing all over again. What is your square root of 9? 3. So I'm going to erase square root of 9 and just put a 3 there. And I'm going to give it a hug because there's a lot of other numbers around there. Just put some parentheses around it. There's a lot of 3's in this problem. Just kind of annoying. So we've got negative 2 square root of 3 plus, and then you just multiply these together. 3 times 3 would be 9 square root of 3. Well, it would have looked, if I didn't put parentheses, it would have looked like 33. So that's kind of why I did that. It's up to you. As long as you end up with the right answer in the end, I kind of don't care how you write it. And then do you see how they're the same now? You just add them together. Negative 2 plus 9, 7 square root of 3. Let's try it again. 6 is not a big enough number to split, which is good news because that means you don't have to do anything. Just literally write it again. And then we're going to have minus 2 and then draw 2 little houses. Good, 4 times 6, perfect. You end up seeing the same numbers a lot because it has to give you something from that list. So it ends up, you get a lot of redundancy here. So to save you from having to write it all over again, just erase square root of 4. What is your square root of 4? It's 2. So I'm going to just erase that and put a 2. You could write the whole thing over again, but I'm just trying to save you some work. So this would be 2 square root of 6 minus, and then you just, good, multiply them together. 2 times 2 is 4 square root of 6. Now they're the same, and you can subtract them. So 2 minus 4 is negative 2, and then square root of 6. We'll just try one more of these. I'll fill this one in and post it to Schoology, but I think if you guys have got the hang of it, let's just do one more. 6 is not a big enough number to split, so just leave that one alone. Plus 3, and then draw 2 little houses. So I need a number from the list of squares that goes into 54. Yep, 9 times 6, and again, you end up seeing a lot of the same ones over and over again, because there's only so many numbers, you know, before they start getting outrageously large. Erase square root of 9. What is your square root of 9? 3. And so this would be 2 square root of 6 plus 9, 3 times 3, square root of 6. Now they're the same, just add them together. And what would be your final answer? 11 square root of 6. Cool. It sounds like we've got that. I'll fill this one in and put it on Schoology. Go ahead and flip to the back. These ones are cube roots. Same exact process. Nothing's different, so no reason to freak out. The only difference is you're going to look at this list. That's it. Same. If you got what we did on the other side, same exact thing here. Look at these. Do you see how they're the same? You don't have to do any work to simplify them. Just add or subtract them together. Negative 5 plus 9 is 4. And then it'll be cube root of 3. Again, it's like negative 5x plus 9x. You just add them together. Now these ones, do you see how they're not the same? You're going to have to split them. Okay, and actually we're going to have to split both of them. So this is going to be 2, and then draw 2 little houses. You're going to need to write a little bit small for this one to get it to fit. Okay. I need 2 numbers that multiply together to be 32. One of them has to be on this list. We're looking at the cube. Good. 8 times 4. You guys know your times table. You guys have very good number sense, which helps a lot with this. No. Like to have some number sense. Now erase. What is your cube root of 8? Is 2. Erase cube root of 8 and just put a 2. And again, the reason I'm doing that is to save you from having to write the whole thing all over. Then we're going to do the exact same thing here. Minus 8, and then draw 2 little houses. I don't expect you're going to be able to do 108 in your head, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to bring up Desmos, or do some of you know it? Oh, wow. Let me show it for the rest of us mere mortals who can't do that in our head. That really impresses me. There, 27 times 4. How'd you do that in your head? Obviously. That really impressed me. All right, 27 times 4. For everybody else, do you see how I typed it in and got the table and then found 27 on the table? Okay. Now erase, what is your cube root of 27? 3. So erase that and put 3. Oh, why is it 4? Yep, multiply 2 times 2. So you have 4 cube root of 4 minus 24. 8 times 3. So 24 cube root of 4. Now they're the same. And no one's asked me yet, but usually I get asked, hey, Miss Cole, what if they don't come out to the same thing? That means you done goofed. You had a whoopsie somewhere, they'll come out to the same thing. Otherwise, you can't add them together, all right? So you have 4 minus 24, negative 20, cube root of 4. This one has 3 parts to it. It's not any different, though. The problem's just longer. Try to write kind of small because it's going to get large, but it's not any different. All right, draw two little houses. You need numbers that multiply to be 48. One close. 8 times 6. Yeah, you've said that a bunch. Did you have a teacher that taught you that? That's great. And then we're going to erase cube root of 8 and put what? 2. Good. Now look at the next one. 6 is not a big enough number to split. So what does that mean we're going to do? Keep it the same. Literally just write it down. I was waiting to see if I got a response. Well, I like to make it more of a conversation instead of me just lecturing at you, you know. Now look you can kind of use the rest of the problem as like a clue. Do you see how these both have a 6? This one's probably going to have a 6 in it. Okay, so put +4 and then draw two little houses. Now I'm going to put 384 in the calculator. Let me share the screen here, but it's probably going to be 6 and something. Okay, so 384 divided by x. Get the table. You go down to 6. 6 times 64. You guys were close. So it'll be 64 times 6. And 64 is on the list. Oh my gosh. What's your cube root of 64? 4. So erase that and times 4. Hold on. Now you are going to have to write the next step. Okay. It's going to be 2 cube root of 6 minus 3 cube root of 6 plus, why is it 16? 4 times 4 plus 16 cube root of 6. And now they're all the same, and you can add them, subtract them together. 2 minus 3. Negative 1. Are you there with me? Negative 1 plus 16. Be 15 cube root of 6. So that's your adding and subtracting. The last part, and I'm just going to keep going so we can be finished, okay? The last part is multiplying. So look. You're going to multiply the numbers that are underneath the square root or cube root and then simplify it. So you multiply the numbers outside and then you multiply the numbers inside. Do you see how both these are inside the square? Okay, so draw a square root. What is 5 times 10? 50. Very good. And then just like we played in Battleship, you're going to split it. Now, remember what list you're looking at. This is squares. 49 is not going to go into 50. 25 times 2. Well, hold on. And then what is your square root of 25? 5. So 5 square root of 2 is your answer. That's a variable. So that's only for x's and y's. All right, so draw a square root. 6 times 6 is 36. We're losing our focus. I want to push through and be able to just have this be done. What do you think about that one? I kind of threw that to you in the game and it sort of threw everybody off, but it's just 6. Now here, do you see how the 5 and the 20 are underneath and the -4 is not? Okay, so the -4 is going to just stay outside. And then the 5 times 20 is going to go inside. So you multiply the parts outside, you might multiply the parts inside. So 5 times 20 is 100. Ooh, and that's actually good because what's your square root of 100? Is 10. And so then what's your like final answer? -40. We'll maybe just do 2 more of these. I'll skip the last one because if you guys have got it, then we're good. All right, now this one has 2 numbers that are outside. We're going to multiply the outsides and then multiply the insides. Why is it positive 12, guys? Yep. -4 times -3 will be positive 12. And then underneath, you're going to do the 15 times 3, which is 45.
Oh.
Wait, are we all still together? I didn't do the next step yet. So we have 12 and then draw two little houses. You need something off this squares list that goes into 45. So look at your squares list. 9 times 5. Are you okay? Oh, yeah, that's your diaphragm. All right, so erase square root of 9. What is your square root of 9? Is 3. And then you're just going to multiply these. Good. 12 times 3 is 36 square. You guys are awesome. You guys have very, very good number sense, which is, if you have that, this is going to go easy breezy for you. All right, and then here we have a cube root. So just put a little 3. 12 times 6. Do you know your 12 times 6? It is 72. Good. So draw two little houses. Now make sure you put the little 3 on the outside of them because this one's a cube root. So you need a number off this cubes list. You're looking at this list this time. It will not be 27.
I'm so stupid.
Kind words only. Kind words only, even to yourself.
Oh, 8 and 9.
8 times 9. Good. Now, what is your cube root of 8? 2. And actually, we will do that last one because I didn't realize that was the only cube we did. So let's do the cube. Multiply the outsides, multiply the insides. So the outsides, if you times those, you'll get what? -10. And then the insides, 4 times 8. Good. Yeah, do the outsides, then do the insides. So it'll be -10 and then draw two little houses. And again, you need a number off the cubes list that'll go into 32. It will be 8 and 4. Good. So what is your cube root of 8? 2. So I'm just going to erase that and put 2, or you could write the whole thing over again. Whatever is your preference, it's fine. And then your last step is just to multiply those together. So it'll be -20 cube root of 4, if I could talk.